I'm now standing in front of the gravestone of Jeremiah Crocker, a colored man, a soldier of the Revolution. Died June 14th, 1836, at the age of about 100 years. Revolutionary soldier. And so I'm going to honor these revolutionary soldiers and the men who fought at during the Revolution and the War of 1812 as the real, authentic warriors of the warriors who fought for liberty. Is what they knew what they were doing. They were actually fighting against a tyrannical regime that was taxing them and charging them money for property that they had built, that they had farmed, that they had labored for generations. And it was an opportunity to say, let's ask questions about this old system called monarchy and aristocracy. So that's what these men did. They actually fought and gave up their lives to make that difference. And today, it seems to me that we are nearly back in the same situation, but it's all recently the tyrannists, or the aristocracy, monarchy, however you want to call it, are much more organized with the modern tools, and they've done it through deceit, through fraud. I'm just going to read a bit from the Henniker town history and honoring this man, Mr. Jeremiah Crocker, in addition to the rest of the men who left on the morning of the April the 20th from this town. This is from the History of the Town of Henniker, Merrimack County, by Leander Cogswell, published in 1880. This is from pages 166 and 167. The spirits of the colonies became deeply depressed during the winter of 1774-1775. A cloud was gathering that the wiser one saw must end only in open conflict. A duty of resistance was instilled into the minds of the colonists, or they must forever be subjugated to serfdom. Settlers of this town, in Henniker, were in sympathy with this feeling, and they waited anxiously for the first tidings of the opening of the conflict. The spirit of resistance became more intensified as the storm deepened, and when the skirmish took place at Lexington on the morning of the 19th of April, 1775, the revolution began. Couriers were sent in all directions giving the alarm. Early on the morning of the 20th, a messenger on horseback came galloping through this town of Henniker, giving the alarm and calling for help. How quickly was that appeal responded to. Ephraim Goss, who we've visited his grave and taken a video of it, who was plowing near his house, unyoked his oxen, left his plow in the field, stepped into his house, and taking his trusty old firelock from the wooden hooks upon which it hung, bade his family goodbye and mounted his horse and was away to Lexington. Charles Whitcomb, who was also in this grave, who was near the log meeting house with his oxen hitched to a pair of wooden wheels, unyoked his oxen and heading them for home, headed his horse for south. Jonas Bowman, which I didn't see his grave here, but I'm sure he's here somewhere, or at another grave in Henniker, did not stop to unyoke his oxen, but bidding his family goodbye and hurried to the scene of action of his own native town. I haven't researched this, but I'm going to guess that that's where he was born, in probably Lexington, Massachusetts. The Pattersons, fired for the glowing zeal of resistance to the British minions, came down from the hill and hurried to join their comrades. There are Pattersons in this graveyard. Cornelius Bean, who we've also taken a picture of, his gravestone is in here, who had seen much service in the French and Indian War, left his team in the furrow and hastened to Lexington. James Reed, who lived in the east part of town, was mending a fence. He laid down his axe, picked up his gun, and was soon out of sight. The exact number of men who went from this town to Lexington cannot be ascertained. Others, in addition to the names given above, were of the number. And here's what Leander Cogswell expressed. How dearly those old patriots must have prized their homes, and how strongly they must have longed for that priceless boon, liberty, for which, and to receive, they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors.